Hey, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about why digital marketing campaigns often fail and how you can fix them. So, if you tried digital marketing in the past and you didn't quite see the results that you wanted, you're in the right place. Common reasons that campaigns fail. Let's dive right in with some common reasons why campaigns fail. These include improper targeting, no retargeting, failing to optimize, bad creative, inconsistent brand identity, targeting low funnel too soon, poor timing, inadequate budget, a weak value proposition, a lack of clear goals, and a complicated user experience. So, the first problem is improper targeting. One of the major issues that impact campaign performance and translate to you not getting the results that you need is improper targeting. And what that basically means is that you either don't know who your ideal customers are or you're reaching out to the wrong audience. So, for this example, we could say marketing luxury cars to teenagers won't get you very far. Well, why? Because if you're marketing luxury cars to a subset of folks that cannot afford luxury vehicles, then you're going to be talking to the wrong group of folks. Or, for example, if you are marketing your landscaping services to people that live in high rises downtown, then you maybe won't get a lot of sales. So, it's very important for you to understand who your target audience is. If you don't, it can lead to low engagement within your campaigns. Your ads don't really get a lot of attention and your ad spend is wasted. So you can feel like you're sort of talking to a brick wall. It's like you're screaming into outer space and no one's responding. You're not getting the results that you need or that you would hope to see because your targeting is incorrect. So the solution to that is to simply identify your ideal customers. Spend some time identifying who your target audience is by defining your buyer persona. There's a difference between a target audience and a buyer persona. Your target audience is a group of, say, demographics, so age, gender, geographical location, household income, home ownership, family status. But your buyer persona is a more personalized look at your target audience. So your buyer persona looks like giving a name to your target audience and digging into their psychographics. To use our example again of folks who are homeowners and looking for landscaping services, they might be middle aged, probably married, very stable. If they're homeowners, they may have solid credit. They've been in their career or their job for a while. They may be college educated. Their household income is maybe in the middle class range. They maybe drive a practical vehicle. Some of the things that might be keeping them up at night are an overzealous HOA who are sticklers about the appearance of their lawn. So those are some things to kind of think about when you're talking about targeting. It's not enough to be generic. You have to really get into the hearts and minds of your target audience and understand some of the things that are keeping them up at night, things that they're interested in, some of their common objections. Read the reviews of your competitors and see what your competitors are being praised for, or even reprimanded for, right? Like look at your customer complaints, both for yourself and for your competitors, to kind of get a better feel of what your target audience and your buyer persona really is thinking and feeling as they're going through the process of becoming a customer of yours. Next, a big issue that we see in digital marketing campaigns is no retargeting. This means that you're not following up with the people who have already showed interest. So that could be like not showing ads to visitors or people who have left things in cart, not following up with them via ad or things like that. How do you know that you have a retargeting problem? You probably aren't seeing very many conversions. Retargeting is the single most effective marketing tactic. Retargeting helps you create multiple touch points, and multiple touch points are sometimes needed in order to close a deal. If you think about it, in order for people to make a sale, they have to first know you, like you, and trust you. And getting in front of those people multiple times helps to establish the know, like, and trust system. Once you have engaged with these people multiple times, it helps you close the deal. The solution to not having retargeting is to simply implement retargeting. Serve ads to people who've interacted with your brand before, if they've liked your page, if they follow you, if they've come to your website. Customers need multiple touch points to convert. Retargeting ads are 70% more likely to turn visitors into buyers. The next one is a big one: failing to optimize. Failing to optimize means ignoring data that could improve your campaign. So, for instance, if you're continuing to use a low performing ad without changes, for example, you're running a campaign for a little while, maybe a month or two, and you notice that your ad creative is not getting a lot of clicks, or you aren't getting a lot of traffic to your website, you still aren't making sales, or a particular site that your ad is showing up on isn't giving you the results that you were looking for, it's probably because that campaign needs to be optimized. Failing to optimize can lead to a low return on investment. So your campaign performance is going to decline, it's going to stay stagnant, and your ad dollars don't really translate into increased revenue. So what do you do about it? Regularly review, look at your campaigns, check the reports, and optimize based on the insights that you see. Regular optimization can increase the performance of your campaign by 20% or more, depending on how deeply you are optimizing. You cannot just start a campaign, set it, and forget it. You always have to be fine-tuning it so that you're reducing the amount of ad dollars that you're spending on things that don't work and increasing the investment on things that do. Which leads me to my next subject: bad ad creatives. So bad ad creatives means that your ads are not really appealing to your target audience, or they're irrelevant, or they can be even confusing. For example, ads with too much text or poor imagery can really turn off your target audience. How do you know if you have a bad creative? One telltale sign is that you will not have good click-through rates, meaning people are not clicking on your ads. Everything in your marketing campaign plays a role. Just like targeting, which we talked about a few slides ago, you have to make sure that you have the proper targeting. You're targeting the correct target audience, and you're appealing to your buyer persona. That means that your ad creative as well as your ad copy needs to resonate with the right people at the right time. And if the visuals and the words are not in line with what your target audience, your buyer persona, needs to see, then they probably won't be engaging very much, which means you won't get a lot of clicks. And if you're not getting landing page visits, then you're not getting form submits, you're not generating leads, which means you are not closing deals. So what can you do about a bad ad creative? Firstly, do not go at it alone. If you do not have a background in design or copywriting, then hire a professional that does. But if you are unable to do that, just make sure that you're creating appealing and clear ads. Refer back to your buyer persona and make sure that whatever you're putting out to that target audience is going to resonate with them. Do your homework, do your market research. It will pay off in the long run. A good creative can boost your click-through rates by up to 50%. This next one is a big one. A major problem that we have seen with campaigns that do not perform is inconsistent brand identity. Inconsistent brand identity just means that your campaign has mixed messages or visuals that don't match, like using different logos across platforms. This one seems like something everyone should know, but you would be surprised how many folks don't. Do not underestimate the power of consistent branding, especially when you're first starting out, because you have to have consistent branding in order to create brand awareness. So let's say You had a logo done when you first started out, and it's very similar to a rebrand that you recently did. But if you got this logo already wrapped on your fleet, or you've got t-shirts and business cards already made, letterheads, you haven't quite gotten around to updating the logo every place that it needs to be, like your website or your social channels, but it shows up in some places as well. And so basically, you're using two separate logos, the first version and the rebranded version. What's going to happen is your target audience is going to get confused because now you appear to be two separate brands. So all the work that you're doing in your campaign is quite literally split between two companies. And when you're first starting out, you're a small business, every dollar counts, including every dollar spent on your marketing campaign. So do not split your budget and your efforts and your investment by stretching it across an inconsistent brand identity system. How do you know that your brand identity is inconsistent? Your customers are going to be confused. It's going to be hard for them to recognize and trust your brand. And so you'll probably get some complaints about not being familiar with your brand. Oh, I thought you were someone else. Oh, yeah, I saw you at the farmer's market when you were nowhere near there, right? So, how do you fix something like that? You just have to maintain consistency. Use the same brand style guide for everything that you do. Keep your colors and typography consistent. Consistent branding can increase your revenue by up to 23%. If you don't know what a style guide is, a style guide is just a set of guidelines that every brand has to follow in order to maintain consistent branding across all of your marketing output. Your brand style guide is just going to keep you in line, making sure that your brand stays consistent in your logo, your typography, your colors, your messaging, and the way you generally appear to your target audience every time they interact with your brand. This next one's a good one. Another reason why campaigns fail is because they're targeting low funnel too soon. In digital marketing, or in marketing in general, there exists what they call a sales and marketing funnel. The sales and marketing funnel is basically an inverted triangle that's broken up into 3 sections. The top of the funnel is awareness, the middle of the funnel is consideration, and the tipping point at the bottom is action. In order to make a sale, your customers have to go through each stage of the funnel. So there's a stage where your goal needs to focus on top funnel awareness, so just getting the word out. In the middle, they have to go through consideration, so learning more about your company and why they should buy from you. And at the bottom, for action, when they actually make the sale. This is where retargeting comes into play a lot. So targeting low funnel too soon means that you're pushing for the sale before you've actually done the work of building brand awareness or allowed your customer to go through the process of consideration. So, for example, if you're promoting discounts to people who haven't actually heard of you yet, their first interaction with you is for you to promote a discount, you're probably doing your digital marketing wrong, targeting low funnel way too soon. How do you know you're targeting low funnel too soon? Customers don't really seem all that much ready to buy. So, what you'll see is low conversion rates and a lot of ad waste. How do you solve a low funnel too soon problem? Run an awareness campaign. Introduce your brand to your target audience by creating content that resonates with your buyer persona. Brands that focus on awareness are going to see higher conversion rates over time. Next, poor timing and impatience is a huge no. If you're launching campaigns at the wrong time or you aren't giving them enough time to yield results, it can really hurt your efforts. As small business owners, we are great at what we do. If you're a landscaper, you're great at lawn work. If you are an accountant, you're great with bookkeeping. If you are an attorney, you're great at representing folks. But you may not be all of that great at marketing. And sometimes when we're running campaigns, we want to see results, and it can be hard to be patient in those moments. One of the biggest issues that small business owners run into when they're DIYing their marketing is not giving the campaign enough time to yield results. So if you're serving up ads to folks and you aren't quite seeing sales yet, it could be because you're still in the awareness phase of the funnel, which means that while you may start to get traction in terms of followers and opt-ins and email leads coming in, you maybe won't make a whole lot of sales because that isn't the goal for building awareness. You have to warm people up, and that can take time. At any stage of the funnel, you always want to leave yourself enough runway to see results. In general, that can look like about 60 to 90 days of a campaign running, especially if you haven't run a campaign before. You'll want to give your campaign enough time to build up data and traction so that you can start to see results. If you're not seeing results in a week, don't sweat it. Stick with it. Keep going. How do you know that you might be being a little bit impatient? You're going to see low engagement, and it's going to feel like a lot of missed opportunities because maybe you turned your campaign on, left it for a few days, didn't see the results that you wanted, and then turned it right back off. You have to stick with these things. So, how do you fix an issue of poor timing and impatience? Launch your campaigns at optimal times and then give them at least 90 days with optimizations. If you do this, you can increase your engagement by about 30%. Next on the list, inadequate budget. A lot of times, campaigns don't really have enough budget to reach their target audiences effectively. Small businesses are often juggling many things, one of which is finance and marketing budget. So if you do not have adequate budget for your campaigns, you may notice that your ads aren't reaching very many people. It might not be resulting in the engagement that you hope for, and you probably aren't going to see a lot of sales. So what you should do about that is, if you're able to allocate about 10 to 30% of your revenue or your revenue goal, so like how much money do you want to make for the year, whatever that number is, take 10 to 30% of that budget and dedicate it to your marketing. If your campaign is underfunded, they often are going to fail to reach their audience. So if you aren't able to produce the budget in paid advertising, consider doing more earned media so that you can build up some traction that you can later leverage for paid ads. Sometimes brands just aren't ready for paid marketing, and that's okay. There are steps that you can take leading up to a paid ad campaign. This next one is closely related to the topic of having a very clearly defined target audience and buyer persona. It's when you have a weak value proposition. It's when you don't clearly explain why your product or service is valuable. How do you know you have a weak value proposition? You're not going to have very much differentiation. So it's going to result in low interest and only a few inquiries or sales. People aren't going to be asking about how to work with you. And what you can do about it is just to clearly explain your product's value. If you've got a strong value proposition, it can increase your conversion rates by 10 to 15%. Next, you've got maybe a lack of clear goals. So if you don't have specific measurable objectives, it's going to be hard to gauge success. A few slides ago, we talked about the sales and marketing funnel, it being the inverted triangle with the 3 layers: awareness at the top, consideration in the middle, and action at the bottom. Depending on where you are in your brand's journey with digital marketing, you may have to adjust your campaign goal. So for example, if you're just starting out and you're wanting to increase brand awareness amongst your target audience, then you probably won't want to focus on sales as a goal. While your campaign might result in some sales, the real indicator of success for an awareness campaign are going to be awareness related goals, such as reach. So are you getting views on your videos? Are you seeing a high impression count? Are you gaining followers? Are your ads getting clicks? Do you have a high click-through rate? Your return on investment in this case is not sales, it's clicks, it's attention, it's awareness, making sure that your target audience knows who you are. If you're maybe been doing this for a while, you have a pretty solid following, and you've moved on to more mid-funnel or consideration campaigns, then you'll want to be focusing on things that indicate success in consideration. So for a mid-funnel campaign, the goal is really to nurture potential customers who are already aware of your brand. So you want to engage with them to move them closer down the funnel so that they can make a purchase. Your goal will need to be adjusted in that case to looking at website visits. Are people spending more time on your website? Is your bounce rate going up or going down? Look at the number of page views per session. Are they coming to the homepage and leaving, or are they clicking around and viewing other pages on your site? All of those things are indicators of a healthy consideration mid-funnel campaign. And then lastly, if you've been doing this for a while, you've done your awareness, you've done your consideration, now it's time to start focusing on the sales. So obviously your lower funnel action stage campaigns, they need to result in sales or action. So if you're looking for book sales, or if you are looking for signups, this is where you actually acquire new customers. Next up, it's complicated user experience. A complicated user experience can really make or break your campaign. So let's say you've got really great targeting, your ad creative resonates with your buyer persona, you're getting the clicks, they're landing on your landing page, they stay for a while and read the information. But then in order to sign up for, say, your mailing list, they have to search around for the form. And the form's got 20 fields and it's very complicated to fill in. The letters are small. The button is not working. All of those things can negatively impact the user experience. If it's too hard for your potential customer to take the desired action that you want them to take, they won't take it. What are some indicators that you've got a complicated user experience? You're going to see things like high bounce rates, abandoned shopping carts, people clicking on your ads but not converting, things like that. Put yourself in the shoes of your buyer persona. If you were going through the entire journey that they took from awareness all the way down to action, first seeing the ad, clicking on the ad, landing on the landing page, how would you interact with your site? How would you interact with the process of taking the action? Are there friction points? Are there barriers that would prevent them from taking the desired action that you want them to take? If there are issues that need to be addressed, address them. Make it easy for your potential customers to take the desired action. When you simplify the user experience, you can increase your sales by 16%. At the end of the day, if you want to get results, you need proper targeting. You're going to have retargeting, getting back in front of your target audience because they need multiple touch points. You're going to need to optimize. You have to adjust your campaign, look at your reporting, see how your campaign is performing. Any pieces of your campaign that are not performing, take them out and invest more in the parts of your campaign that are working. Make sure that your ads are creative and engaging. Ensure that your brand identity is consistent. Make sure you have clear branding across the board. Keep the same colors, the same logo, have a consistent message. Make sure that you also have a clear value proposition. Let people know why they should work with you as opposed to your competitors. Make sure that you're addressing the right part of the funnel. If you're just starting out, don't run campaigns that are down funnel, that are after sales. Focus on increasing awareness. Keep your user experience simple. Make it easy for people to do what you want them to do on your website. Be patient. Give your campaigns time to yield results. Make sure that you're investing adequate budget. If you're not ready to invest in adequate budget, try some earned media strategies like social media management, organic posts, email marketing, and make sure that you set clear, appropriate goals. Those are the things that'll help you get the results. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm Ariel Davis over at Wild Monkey, where we create exceptional identities for unapologetically authentic brands. If you need help with any of this stuff, I'm a 20-year marketing vet in the digital marketing space, and if your campaigns are acting up, I can help you get some act right. Schedule a meet and greet with our team, and we'll be happy to help.